Hey, what is up guys, and welcome back. So in today's video, we're going to be doing Banggood window shopping. Not only that, there's a bunch of new interesting things in terms of price and features. And we're actually looking at one right now. Now, the way this goes, we're going to do the Banggood window shopping. I'll have everything linked down below in the order we check them out, so you can go ahead and follow along. And also towards the end of the video, I will have a couple questions for you guys, and just to get you guys input if you're interested in that. And it's also linked down below in the timestamp, so you can just skip to that if you're interested in that. So with that being said, let's get started here. PCBWay is one of the leading PCB manufacturers out there, and it is the manufacturer I use for my products. Now, if you're either a hobbyist and or looking to create a final product, PCBWay is going to be a really great choice with their 24-hour and also assembly services. So go ahead and check the links down below. So first of all, what we have here, just making sure I'm recording, is a T-motor ESC. I wanted to keep this for last, but this is really interesting because I didn't notice one aspect of this when I first saw this. So all I saw in the beginning was 45 amps, T-motor, 35 bucks. That's crazy. 6S capable, BLHL32. But wait, if you take a closer look, 10 volt regulator. That is insane. Okay, that is absolutely insane if this thing performs. Knowing T-motor, it should theoretically perform. I give it a 90% chance it's going to perform pretty well. I could already see some nice cap layout in there under that heatsink from that picture. So let's dig in a little bit deeper here. So 35 bucks, this is a hell of a deal. There's even better stuff too. I mean, in terms of price point, I don't know how good this stuff is yet, but it's from a reputable company. So from a well-known company. Let's just leave it at that. So T-motor, 45 amps. We get 55 amp burst for 10 seconds, all theoretical possibly, but maybe true. 3 to 6S LiPo, 32-bit, which is BLHL32. Now let's go ahead and scroll down and see what we find. Outstanding, yes. All that marketing, yes. Gibberish. Okay, let's take a look back here. So first thing, what we do know is that the power circuit is going to be split into on both sides of the board. We have the bottom side. We have half of the FETs on the bottom side, and we have the other half is going to be on the top side. It's pretty obvious it is. We see that it's soft mounted, and we also do see we have a nice capacitor array inside. You can see some there. You can see some here. You can see some here, which is a good sign. It's a really good sign. I'm going to see if I can get two of these so I could pop the heatsink off of them, because usually I give these away to my Patreons at the end of the month. So that's why I haven't been doing that lately, but I know it's probably more important to actually pop it open. So right here, what we have is we have the F0s, so the Cortex M0s. I think these are the F1 microcontroller units basically. So it is BLHL32, which is really great, especially for 6S setup. So what we have integrated 10 volt 2 amp. This is really awesome because what this allows you to do now is you don't have to worry about your flight controller being DJI compatible in terms of a voltage regulator. And or you can even have hopefully very clean video footage because it's a stable 10 volt regulator where the voltage is not fluctuating, thus noise won't go in, hopefully. So you get all this for 35 bucks. Now this is really, really crazy. And it is a BLHL32. Usually stuff of this nature does not come unless it comes with a Mamba stack. And the cheaper Mamba stacks usually are BLHL-ES. Nothing is wrong with the BLHL-ES. You know, BLHL32, I think the main selling point for me was the fact that you can have a shunt resistor or current reading for each ESC, and we don't even see that shit no more, which is kind of annoying. I mean, I really love that. But yeah, back again here. We see we have edge plating, proper pads. We see we have holes for the low ESR capacitor. It is also provided. Make sure you add that. And look at that. They give you an Xt60, the capacitor, even a connector setup, and a nice packaging. For 35 bucks, that's crazy. So let's take a look at this here. So here we have telemetry, current reading, 1, 2, 3, 4, 10 volt, VBAT, G, which is ground. So you could, for example, what I would recommend if you don't know this, and if you are picking this up, make sure your flight controller takes battery voltage, obviously, and then you would give it the VBAT. The 10 volt would go directly to the video transmitter. You don't want to give a flight control. You can give the flight controller 10 volts, but if you're using the video transmitter or the DJI setup, then I would highly recommend you keep that 10 volt just for the DJI setup, basically, or DJI setup. I don't know. I like DJI, so I'm going to stick to DJI here. So this is the 45 amp. There's also some other models which we're going to take a look at here. And it's rated up to 450 size drone. So that's a pretty big prop. I don't know how big that would be, but that's a pretty big drone. It's more than 7 inches, that's for sure. So yeah, that's really crazy. And they do work with a lot of bigger drones also, T-motor. So don't forget that. They're one of the biggest manufacturers for motors and everything of that nature. So they know what the hell they're doing most of the time. Here, I clicked on this not to show you guys. I just wanted to see myself, actually. Just a quick search. If it's interesting, I'll keep it. If it's not, then probably just edit it out or something. So here's the next step up. Oh, and this is the most expensive variant of that ESC that we just saw earlier, which is the Pacer line, I guess. Is that called Pacer or Velox? What are they calling it? Pacer, the Pacer line. So with these new Pacer models, as we can tell that they are carrying the same exact design. The only differences here is what we're going to see is just the FETs. Nothing more, theoretically here. The caps should be around the same size. Everything should be the same because they all run 6S. And the only difference is the amperage rating or the watts. But here they don't go by watts, they go by amps. And yeah, so if this is good, then the little one should be good. Unless the FETs are really bad on the other one. But that's usually pretty rare, actually. Here's the mid-range, 50 bucks. So personally, well, I don't want to say that just yet, but I'm going to get the cheapest one, because if it performs good, you really don't need to go any higher, to be honest. That's my opinion. But it comes back to you. It depends on the load also, what kind of setup you're flying, and you know, a lot of things could be taken into consideration here. So again, all of these are linked down below. Oh, this one's in stock, so yeah, you can pick that up right away. This one we recently actually got on the channel, and it wasn't in stock, and now it's in stock. So Foxeer, this is their latest flight controller, and Foxeer is currently working to create their own ESC. That's what they've actually told me here. And this is a really interesting flight controller because it has a lot of things going on for it. This is their second flight controller ever. The first one had dual gyros, which was the trend back then. But here we see that they've implemented it correctly. They've done quite a lot here to try to capture a lot. And if you've missed that review, I'll have it linked down below. Now it's in stock, so it's very flexible and compatible with just about anything you want to stick on. It takes battery voltage. It has a 9 or a 10 volt regulator. I forgot. Yeah, you could switch between 9 and 10 volt regulator. You could actually see it in this area right here. You just have to bridge those things. And yeah, overall, it's pretty proper setup. As we can tell, it's slightly to the same ordering as a T-Motor ESC. Does that say anything to you? So yeah, overall this looked as a good flight control. I haven't personally tested it yet, but it's going on the build. I'm currently building right now. This is crazy. This is absolutely crazy here, what you're seeing. Is it really? Not really that crazy. Actually, no, it's not that crazy, but it's still a nice setup. So what we have here, a proper frame, proper stack, proper motors for 160 bucks. So what you're left with is a $20 camera. So we got 180 there, a video transmitter, around another 20. You don't have to go that expensive. So you're looking at 200 bucks right here for a proper flight control, proper kit, almost a proper kit. All you'll need is a receiver and the other stuff, which I never really count. So I'm hoping you already have those things. But this isn't 2207. This is really nice. It's going to be a really power hungry build here. It's 2700 kV 2207. You're going to have some speed on that thing, some absolute speed. And you could even get some efficiency from this because it's such a high kV. I've tested these motors, if I remember correctly, and I actually did enjoy them, if I remember. Tested so many things I don't remember anymore. Yeah, so this is really nice here. So you're getting an F4 flight controller, 45 amp BL Heli S ESCs rated up to 6S. They might have a 6S variant of this build. The only difference would be is just changing out the motors. But yeah, you know, what I really love about iFlight products or frames is they give you all the 3D printed parts you need. Like, for example, that back thing right there is going to hold your video transmitter's antenna or the mount, and it'll also hold your receiver, which is really, really useful. You have no idea how useful that is. And if you take a closer look inside the camera plates, you'll see a 3D printed part. Now, what's really nice with this is actually an offset. So you can change between a mini and a micro, which is really, really useful. So if you had a mini, you would remove the inserts. And if you had a micro, you would put those 3D printed parts as inserts inside, which is, again, very useful if you screwed up buying your camera. It's compatible with micros and minis, and I really like that. It's actually very useful for a lot of people here. I don't remember if we covered this or not, but I think we did cover this one. But yeah, this is still pretty crazy. Every time I see 8 volt regulator, you have F7, dual gyro, not sensor fusion, which means it doesn't use both gyros at the same time. You have to choose between MPU 6000 and ICM. And you also have, you know, the 8 volt. You also have the Bluetooth. So it's up there. I think it even had a barometer, if I remember correctly. I mean, yeah, there's the barometer down there. Yeah. Yep, and the whole bottom side is basically utilizing all that space for the proper switching regulators. So we got the 5 volt and we got the 8 volt here. Nice stuff. This stuff has to be clean. This one has been on the way forever now. I really wanted this. This is the all new F405 Mini DJI. So basically something has some sort of an 8-volt regulator, and this is what I'm guessing right now. Yes, it has a 9-volt 1.5 amp regulator. It's right here, which is really nice for such a tiny stack actually. That's good. 35 amps. That'll get most people up there just fine. Just don't put a high demanding setup in there unless it's really been tested. So FRSky, since a lot of people hate FRSky, I still don't hate FRSky because I grew up on FRSky. A lot of people did, and it's done quite a lot. Yes, it had its fuck ups, but at the end of the day, I actually emailed them and I told them, what's up with D8? Why are you having so many people hate on you guys? Why don't you just release, instead of putting the R9Ms, make also a package with the XJT module? So basically you buy this and you're D8 compatible 100%, like with a proper FRSky built module in the back. Boop. And basically you're good to go with a DJ setup. Some people don't like that, but at the end of the day, you'll still have the latest and greatest of everything, which is a good thing, always a good thing, obviously. So they actually listened, and I just noticed that today, which that's actually pretty quick that they've done that. So that's a really nice addition. Some people might not like that, but I really love that actually. It's a really nice touch, and it's really them trying to win people back. And I like that they're trying here. And we might see a couple more surprises from FRSky later on. Now here, this one, I've never flown this one, but I really love the frame. And I really want this one. I think I'm actually going to pick this up because the GETFPV Mark IV, the iFlight frames that look like the one I just showed you in that kit, these, and what else? Those are actually just my most favorite frames right now. They're just so nice to use, actually. The only thing there's one thing I hate about these two frames, actually. It's the power connection. Well, here you could route it through the back, but the GETFPV Mark IV, the really annoying, actually, let's see how they actually executed that. The most annoying thing to me, once I find it, where the hell did it go? Okay. The most annoying thing to me on the GETFPV Mark IV is where the Xt60 is going to come out. That is one of the most, that's just the thing that annoys me the most, actually. So what I ended up doing is finding stuff on Thingiverse where I put this 3D printed part right on the, what is it called, standoff right there, and it'll actually allow me to fit my Xt60 through there, and everything works out pretty good. But sometimes it can get kind of annoying, but it's fine at the end of the day. I'm satisfied with that, but I wish they do provide some sort of a 3D printed solution with these frames, because it would just make it so much better in my opinion. And I love this frame. You have no idea how much I love this frame. It's like the cheapest build I've ever made that I love. I just love it. I mean, I don't really care about so much power anymore. I like efficiency and repairability. That's an ease of access, if you might say. When it's really easy in the field just to fix it or take it apart and actually fix that thing. I think that's really important to me, and probably a lot of people out there, because you don't want to be spending 2 hours trying to realign those goddamn camera plates into a frame, and then the back pops out because it has some other carbon fiber part in. That could get pretty annoying after a while. It could get really frustrating. You know, the sun's coming down, it's about to rain, you really want to get that last shot in, and you can't because you couldn't fit that camera plate in that hole. And yeah, that's what she said. So with that being said, let's go ahead, jump to the next part of the video where I take your input on a couple things that I've been doing in the background and also fill you in. So let's jump to that. All right, guys, so right now I want to get your input on a couple things. Now, many of my viewers aren't possibly very interested into PC stuff. Now, I'm not looking into getting into PC stuff, but more likely actual reviews for hardware for artificial intelligence training, basically. So that's one thing I want to get you guys input on, because I've gotten a bunch of things that I've been actually running tests on, and there isn't really much information online, which could be useful for quite a lot of people. But again, that's, you know, I want to know if I should put that also on this channel or should I just put it on another channel. Now, it'll be very difficult for me to maintain 2 channels, so I'd really prefer to put it here because it does have a lot to do with the drone stuff, because I'm training AIs and basically they're drone AIs. So another thing is about the live streams that I've been doing, you know, for the past couple days or past week or so. I did like 3 of those for like 12-hour live streams and stuff. And what you were seeing is basically in a machine learning algorithm or deep reinforcement learning algorithm training. And what is it training to do? Well, basically, let me explain something to you. What it's aiming to do is replace the PID controller. So the PID controller gets a set point and it knows where it is with the gyro, and it has to figure out how to get there as fast as possible with controlling the 4 motors. So that's what a PID controller does. However, in those videos, what you were seeing is we removed the PID controller and the AI has control of the 4 motors. So it has 4 actions, 1 for each motor. So it could put the motor to 100%, 50%. So it has control of the motors, and it gets the input, which would be the gyro data of where it is and where it's supposed to be, or where is it supposed to go. And based upon that, the AI gets rewards. And you know what I call artificial intelligence training, really, after you get everything really down, it's since we're doing deep reinforcement learning, we're not doing any image classification problems just yet. The secret, I think one of the most important aspect is, I call it the art of the reward. So it's how you shape the reward will dictate mostly of how your AI, how fast it'll learn, how good it would generalize. Obviously, the simulator has a lot to do with it. But yeah, if you guys want to see more of those live streams and you want to see dedicated videos on that, maybe show you how to set up, and maybe you guys could collaborate with me, maybe open a side Discord for that, but I won't be there that much. I'll have my assistant watch that. Then we can do that. So depending on the comments down below, you guys help me decide what I should do there. Now, there's also another thing that I wanted to show you guys. So the reason why I haven't been doing any of those live streams is, one, it's not getting that many. Actually, it's getting pretty decent views for what it is, but I've completely switched the simulator setup. So what I've done now is I've picked up an asset from the Unity asset store. And if you don't know what Unity is, it's a gaming engine, and I have slight experience with it. I'm not nowhere near fully experienced, but I have enough to do what I almost want to do. And I was able to successfully implement an AI to learn in there. But what that does is it allows me to make or generalize better, which means I could disable a motor, I could add wind, I could do that with that previous simulator, but it's limiting me because it's very difficult, because I have no experience with Gazebo that much. And it would probably take me about a month or two to just learn and waste a bunch of time learning it. And I don't see a necessity for it. I think Unity is a much quicker route for me. And even though it's not as a real simulation as possible, the amount of things I can do to, for example, lowering the KV, hiring the KV, it'll allow me to generalize better. So it basically means I could give it more scenarios that it has to practice to, and I could give it a curriculum, which means I could give it one step at a time in a much more controlled and easily programmable manner, for me at least. And that's where I'm going with that. And again, another benefit of using Unity is the recent machine learning algorithms have, gone through a lot of change in the past year, and it's been actually improved quite dramatically. And because of that, I could put like 100 drones at one time training, and that cuts down my time dramatically. So instead of 14 hours just to get it to lock into 3 axes, I can do that in like maybe half an hour, 1 hour with a proper build that I've done here. And, I have a lot of things I could show you guys, but I don't know if you guys would be interested in it. So if you guys want to see those things, tutorials, what's going on, updates, let me know, or just say no, just put it on your other channel, which is Tech Mesh AI. I haven't uploaded there in a while. And that was the whole idea of that channel. And since now I'm being back into that, I'm pretty obsessed with that actually. And that's why I'm not uploading here that much anymore, because I've been working on that in the background. And, yeah, I'm kind of, just let me know what you think down in the comment section. Should you guys want to see that content? And if not, then yeah, just let me know as well. That's very important to me. And I really hope you guys enjoyed the video. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.